Hey there, and welcome to Lab 3.2, Visualize Different Data Types Using Tableau Desktop. Keep in mind that this lab might be a continuation of Lab 3.1 for you. If you worked on Lab 3.1, you can open the same Tableau workbook you created in Lab 3.1 and just add a new sheet to it. That's what I'm going to do in this video example. However, if you did not work through Lab 3.1, you can connect to Lab 3.2 data in the Excel workbook through a brand new Tableau workbook, and that will be just fine. In this lab, we're going to build on the skills you discussed in Lab 3.1, where we changed the data type of some of our attributes in our workbook, and we're going to figure out different methods of analyzing and visualizing our data based on the type of data we're analyzing. So the first thing we'll do is create a string data sheet and work through different ways of visualizing proportions and counts. This data contains customers across different states. We'll count the number of invoices by customer. Then we'll create another sheet for geographic data. We'll name it geographic data, and we'll create a field map for sum of invoice amount across each state. So let's go ahead and get started by opening up that Tableau workbook. All right, here we are, same workbook that we created in Lab 3.1. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating a new sheet. So that's going to be just this little button right next to sheet 1. Right here, if you hover over it, it will say new sheet, new worksheet. So I'll click that, and then we can go ahead and get started. We'll get started by beginning with double-clicking product description. Remember that product description is a string data type, and because of that, Tableau defaulted to just showing you tabular data, just showing you the text of what's in the product description field. While this is meaningful on its own because we have a list of all of the products that have been sold, it can be more meaningful if we add in a measure. And in this case, we just want to see the count of every time a product has been purchased. It's not the same thing as a sum because we're not considering quantity sold, just the number of transactions that had at least one of each product listed. And we can do that by down here in the measures, just double-clicking count. So we can see that we have our measure filled in here. And now we're just going to walk through a few different visualizations. We're going to start with the pie chart, where we can see this in a visual form instead of just in this tabular data. We can view it also as a stacked bar chart. Both different ways of showing proportions of a whole. And then we can continue exploring the different possible visualizations. We can click into tree map. We can look at a packed bubble chart. And finally, we can look at our bar chart. There's lots of different ways that we can visualize data. It's nice to just be able to easily click through these different visualizations in Tableau. And really, for this type of data, a bar chart is going to be the most straightforward to tell the story because the differences between bars are easier to see than the differences between slices of pie or shapes, particularly if the bars are sorted, which we'll do right now. So we're in a bar chart. Now we'll just jump up here to the top menu pane and we'll click Sort Descending. And so now, especially if I hide this Show Me window, we can see very quickly and easily which product has been sold on the most invoices. All right, since we're going to be building another sheet, I'm going to go ahead and rename this sheet now. So right-click Sheet 2, select Rename, and we'll name this String Data. For our next step in our next sheet, we'll go ahead and create a new sheet. And in this one, we're working with geographic variables. And Tableau is really great with working with geographic variables. Tableau will default to creating a map if the first field you select is indeed a geographic field type. So we'll start with customer state. So just double-click customer state. And you'll see that as soon as the visualization populates, it has defaulted to a map. Now we can make this, again, a little bit more meaningful by not just seeing a symbol in every state that has ever had a product sold in this data set. We can actually see the quantity sold comparatively across each of these different states. So now we're going to double-click the measure sales order quantity sold. And you'll see the shape of these symbols adjust according to which state has the higher sum and which state has the lower sum. We can make it even easier to read if we adjust this to a filled map. So we're going to do that by extending the Show Me window. If you have yours hidden, you'll just click this button, Show Me. And we'll click this map icon just to the right of the symbol map. And now we can see how bright and colorful this map is. We can quickly see which state has the most quantity sold compared to which states have least quantity sold. So you have now visualized a variety of different data types. You've compared the different charts for analyzing and exploring categorical data. And you created a map to analyze and explore geographic data with a quantitative measure. So you have finished this lab now. We can go ahead and save your work and take your screenshots, make sure you do your work in Connect, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.